Hello, Starshine. My name is Liz and this is my channel, Simsational Stories. If you have not seen my videos before and you enjoy this one, please like and subscribe, and maybe check out my other social media as well. I'm on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. All relevant links are in the description below. Finally, before I begin my Simsational story, I'd like to issue this blanket content and trigger warning. The following story is just Sims, hey. I'm not going to apologise for treating them terribly, if that's what I've done. But I do want to assure you now that although I mean absolutely no harm, I completely understand if you feel unable to consume my content. Many loves, and we will catch each other on the internet elsewhere. Okay, so now I've gotten that over with. Let's go. Today's story is from the Chronicles of Cosmos, and we're at chapter 7. If you have not seen previous chapters and would like to catch up, there are playlists available on my channel so you can hear the entire story in chronological order. The rest of us are going to move on from where we left off last time though. So without further ado. Teenage alien sim hybrid Cosmos Nimeroo is only 16 years old, and already she's run away from her suburban Strangerville home to come to the islands of Sulani and discover the ancient secrets of the ocean. She currently lives off-grid in a tent on a remote, otherwise uninhabited island, and has just become a mermaid. Cosmos has also, for the most part, even managed to maintain her attendance to high school during this difficult time. She is a busy girl, juggling her barista job in the mornings before school, and then cheerleading practice for 2 hours after that. Fitting in homework around all of that was a challenge, and it was a lot for a teenage girl to manage. But manage it she did. Once she finished work, school, and came back to her island home, Cosmos would then have to do the rounds, as she put it, maintaining all the gardens she had begun to grow and take care of her bees. Cosmos really enjoyed the perks of simple living now, such as eating her own homegrown food, and she was actually becoming a bit of a green fiend as she grew up. Her boyfriend, best friend, and fellow Mersim, Owen Anahita, was so proud of her. Cosmos had come to Sulani just 6 months ago with absolutely nothing, and had since built herself a whole life there. The young couple attended prom together and planned to move in together when they went to college the next month. They wouldn't be going alone though. Owen's twin brother, Miles, and his girlfriend, Gabrielle, were both set to attend Britchester as well, and the foursome had all agreed to apply to and been accepted into Drake Hall, one of the most historic and iconic buildings on campus. Cosmos was hesitantly looking forward to the experience, hoping that it would bring her and Owen even closer together. Owen had such a close-knit relationship with his family, and with Miles and Gabrielle in particular. They had all grown up with one another, swimming around the islands of Sulani. And although they always tried to make Cosmos feel very welcome, sometimes she still felt rather like a fish out of water with them all. Cosmos wasn't new to feeling unsure and unconfident of herself. Growing up in Strangerville as the only alien sim hybrid around had led to a lot of insecurities. Along with her unusually green skin, her mother had also been the hero of Strangerville, and that had meant that a lot of people had known who they were her whole life. Cosmos had only ever met one other person, aside from her brother Oberon, who was obviously part alien. Her name was Brooklyn Villarreal, and they had met when the Windenburg High School had an exchange program with the Sulani School. Brooklyn had spotted Cosmos immediately and made an instant beeline for her, introducing herself quickly. Cosmos couldn't believe it This girl had purple skin, and it was beautiful. Cosmos soon found out that Brooklyn and her twin brother Lloyd had a history and a story very similar to that of Cosmos's older brother Oberon. Their father had been stargazing one night and been abducted, only to return to the Earth pregnant. The same thing had happened to Magnus down many years ago in Strangerville, and that had been the catalyst of Cosmos's very creation. For after the birth of his son Oberon, Magnus had later built his own rocket ship and travelled to the alien planet Sixam, which was where he'd met her mother Kelaya. Magnus had been a trailblazer both at work as a scientist and at home in his private life. But his greatest achievement in life was that while his children were young, he had conducted extensive non-invasive research on their abilities and similarities to normal Sims, so that he could avoid the government doing far more invasive tests. He had then written a paper about the matter, the result of which had led to their family, and others like them, being able to lead much freer lives. Thanks to Magnus's hard work, Carlton Villarreal was able to raise his hybrid babies proudly and without shame. Carlton was a gay man who had been rejected by his own parents, and vowed to himself never to inflict that pain upon his own babies. Lloyd and Brooklyn were never made to feel awkward or strange about their unusual conception, and living in the small neighbourhood of Windenburg, everyone around them soon became quite used to it too. The exchange event between Windenburg and Sulani high schools culminated in a formal celebration, and that was where Brooklyn fell in love with Miles Anahita the very moment she saw him. She was bold enough to ask him to dance too. And although he acquiesced, he was just as quick to tell her that he had a girlfriend. Brooklyn wasn't convinced. Surely it couldn't be that serious. They were only just finishing high school, and neither she, Miles, or Cosmos knew where their lives would take them. Who was this girlfriend anyway? Brooklyn came to her new friend Cosmos for information and assistance in winning Miles's heart. Unfortunately for Brooklyn, Cosmos was not interested in breaking up Miles and Gabrielle's relationship. Even if they hadn't been friends, it wouldn't have been right. At first, Gabby was furious to hear about this strange new girl after her man and best friend, but then she had an idea. What if they just introduced Brooklyn to someone else? Cosmos had an older brother named Oberon, who was single. He was a bit older than her, but he was just wasting away frozen in their parents' basement, tinkering with robots. And Brooklyn would be in college soon herself anyway. Cosmos wasn't sure it was a good idea, but at Gabby's insistence, she introduced them. Cosmos and Gabby never told Miles about any of this, of course. It wasn't important, and they were all at university together now anyway. Drake Hall had recently undergone some well-needed refurbishment, and they were among the first round of students to get to enjoy the new amenities that had been installed in the dormitory. The place had apparently been a bit drabby before, with few furnishings and no way for the student residents to cook their own meals. However, along with renovated bedrooms, Drake Hall also now boasted a small dining area with mini fridge, microwave, rice cooker, and platter table, as well as a study, gym, lounge room, and spa area. During her stay at the University of Brichester, Cosmos was undertaking a degree in biology. She still had so many questions about herself and the world around her, as well as how to help heal it from all the environmental damage Sims were doing to it. and she dreamed of one day doing something incredible. But for now, she was just going to college. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can tune in soon to hear the next chapter. If you're a Sims player too and you'd like to download any of my characters to play for yourself, just search the hashtag Simsational Stories on the Sims 4 gallery. All original content is created by This Is Not Eric. And hey, maybe think about sharing my channel with a friend. Or don't. It's your life. Anyway, bye.